Singapore is a famous red dot city-state in the Southeast Asia, famous for its miraculous development stories and its urban scenery. Even though the size of Singapore is only half the size of London or one-third of Tokyo, it still attracts about 20 million tourists every year, being one of the top destinations in Asia. Despite of its size, there are many places worth a visit in Singapore. First, Jewel in Changi Airport. It is a nature-themed entertainment and retail complex inside the Changi Airport. Its centerpiece is the world's tallest indoor waterfall, the Rain Vertex, which is surrounded by a terraced forest setting. It is completely free and is only 3 minutes walk from the Terminal 1. There are also many international brands and interesting restaurants in Jewel, providing all sorts of entertainment to welcome tourists from all over the world. Second, the Marina Bay. It is the new downtown of Singapore, built on the reclaimed land. There are many attractions here, including the iconic Merlin statue, the fairy-tale-esque Gardens by the Bay, the well-designed Esplanade Theatre, the romantic Singapore Flyer and Art Science Museum, and the fabled Marina Bay Sands containing both the Sky Park and the Infinity Pool. There are also historical sites such as the National Gallery Building, Asian Civilization Museum, and several colonial-era church. Moreover, the National Library and the Clarke Quay is not far, where you could enjoy a street of bars with riverside scenery, especially after sunset, and the Singapore River Cruise. Third, the Night Safari. It is the world's first nocturnal zoo, opening from 6:30 p.m. to 12 a.m. It houses over 900 animals representing over 100 species, of which 41% are threatened species. Many of them are unique in the tropical Southeast Asia, such as the Malaysian tiger and the Sundan pangolin. Fourth, the Orchard Road. Shopping is Singapore's national sport, and Orchard Road is its Olympic-sized training ground. A shopping paradise for all shopaholics, you could find everything here, from the latest iPhone from its flagship store to small souvenirs from street hawkers. Besides shopping malls, there are also other attractions, such as the Presidential Residence Istana, the Zoll bookstore famous for its break-up vibe, and the Iron Sky. Fifth, Sentosa Island. Once a British military base and Japanese prisoner of war camp, it is now home to a popular resort that receives more than 20 million visitors per year. Attractions include the Universal Studio Singapore, Madame Tussauds Singapore, several luxury boutique hotels, and one of Singapore's 2 legal casinos. It is connected to the Singapore mainland by the Sentosa Boardwalk, which features the sea breeze and nightly seascape. There is also cable cars connecting Sentosa Island to the Mount Faber, where you can gain a panoramic view of the bustling CBD area. In the end, honorable mention to those good-to-visit places, such as the rustic island of Pulau Ubin, which is perhaps the last piece of land undeveloped in Singapore for now. Chinatown and Little India, which features the multiculturalism of Singapore society, Botanic Garden, Central Water Catchment Reservoirs, Singapore Zoo, NUS and NTU Campus, Geylang Lawrence, and East Coast Park. Additionally, if you are a voracious freak of collecting stamps on the passport like me, then you could easily get another 2 countries during the trip to Singapore. On the one hand, Indonesia's Batam Island is only 1 hour ferry from Singapore, where you could enjoy a completely different society in terms of culture and development. The ferry schedule is very frequent every day, usually from 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m., with 1 hour interval between 2 ferries, and you could buy tickets both online at the Singapore Cruise Center, which is just besides the Vivo City. Indonesia is visa-free to a lot of nationalities, and even if you need a visa there, fret not. Visa on arrival is a very handy option for the rest of us. You only need to bring your passport and pay about $35 in the local currency cent once you arrive. Then you will be able to get a 30-day visa on arrival without any effort, and be able to explore the Batam Island or do a further island hopping in Indonesia. On the other hand, the Malaysian city of Johor Bahru is connected to Singapore via two causeways, which you could travel through by railway, bus, car, or even motorbike. And this is the busiest border crossing in the whole world, with 350,000 travelers daily. Railway is the easiest and fastest way, takes about 5 minutes to travel between the two countries with a 30 minutes frequency on schedule, while bus is the most local and unique way, especially in the early morning and at night, when you would be able to travel with hundreds of thousands of Malaysians going to work in Singapore in the day and go back home at night. However, the land traffic is distinguished and notorious for its congestion, which may cost you about several hours to cross this 1 km causeway in peak hours. In Johor Bahru, you could enjoy a lot of large-scale rural and natural sceneries that could no longer be seen in the modern Singapore. There is also Legoland and multiple shopping malls to visit. A lot of Singaporeans come here on weekends for shopping because of the favorable currency exchange rate and the generally low price level. Malaysia is also visa-free to a lot of countries, and for the rest, e-visa is an easy option, but take note that you can only apply for the e-visa in your home country. Essentially, Singapore is a small city-state, and the public traffic system is one of the best in the world. You could take the combination of bus and MRT subway to any place on the island without walking much. However, according to a travel itinerary, you may choose to stay in Singapore for any length of time. If you're only here for a transfer or a stopover, you could easily visit the jewel inside the Changi airport for both the spectacular waterfall and the amazing shopping and eating experience. If you are only here for 1 day, you would have enough time to finish most of attractions in the CBD area. Marina Bay could be visited in the morning, including the Gardens by the Bay, Marina Bay Sands, Marine Park, and surrounding museums. Then in the afternoon, you could have a walk in the Chinatown and Clarke Quay, and then move to Orchard Road for a happy shopping at night. Alternatively, if you are not that interested in shopping, then you can visit the night safari at night. Of course, if you are interested enough, you could also have a visit in Geylang. If you have 2 days here, the second day could be spent on Sentosa Island alone. The Universal Studio could take most of the daytime, and at night, you could have a nice drink on the beach, have fun in the resort complex. If you plan to stay in Singapore any longer, then you may consider visiting those small and niche attractions. If you love the nature, you could visit the Central Water Catchment or take a boat ride to the Pulau Ubin. If you love museums, you could visit the National Museum, National Gallery, Asian Civilization Museum, Art Science Museum, Singapore City Gallery, or even have a tour in the Singapore Discovery Center, where you could have a guided ride in the active army camp. If you are brave enough, you could have a ghost hunting in Bukit Berang, which is an abandoned cemetery where a lot of places are still impassable, or try to look for the dilapidated Japanese Shinto shrine in the tropical primary forest. Or you could spend a day visiting Malaysia via railway or bus, or visiting Indonesia via ferry or boats. Besides attractions, there are many other things to do in Singapore to get a wider glimpse into the society. First, you should at least visit one hawker center, which are open-air complexes that houses many stores that sell a wide variety of affordable food which you could find all over the island. Famous Singapore dishes such as Hainan chicken rice, nasi lemak, bak chor mee, bak kut teh could be easily found here with super low prices. It is a mosaic of diverse cultures in Singapore, as featured food of different races are served here, and people regardless of their background come here to have meals together. In 2020, the hawker culture was inscribed onto the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization representative list of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity, and being described as the community dining rooms where people from diverse backgrounds gather and share the experience of dining over breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Other recommendations for foodies would be the Sada Street, where you could enjoy the Indonesian skewer barbecue while sitting on the street at the heart of CBD while being surrounded by skyscrapers at all directions. The street is blocked for cars from 7 p.m. every day, so plastic chairs and tables could be set up temporarily to serve customers. It feels fantastic to enjoy the affordable and time-honored barbecue while sitting at the center of the most modern and developed CBD. Additionally, there are a multitude of Michelin-star restaurants in Singapore, including 42 1-star, 7 2-stars, and 3 3-stars. Secondly, you should at least visit one HDB flat in Singapore. Singapore has the most successful public housing system in the world, even better than the communist USSR and China, housing more than 80% of its citizens in nicely designed and built HDB flats with affordable prices. While distributing finished flats, the government also tries to ensure that the whole unit is racially diverse to achieve social harmony. One famous HDB flat is the high-rise Pinnacle Duxton, where you could take the elevator to the 5th floor rooftop garden to enjoy the city skyline. Singapore has high temperature above 25 degrees all the year, so summer outfits are enough. Remember to bring along umbrellas, especially in December and January, which are the rainy monsoon seasons here. The price level in Singapore is generally high due to its strong currency and booming economy. To save money, there are also affordable hotels below $50 a night and cheap hawker center food about $5 to $10 a meal. To get around Singapore, a combination of bus and MRT subway is more than enough, while taxi is unnecessarily expensive. It is highly recommended to buy a Singapore tourist pass for 10 Singapore dollars, which provide you with free unlimited bus and MRT ride for a day. While a multitude of languages are used here, English is the dominant lingua franca, which is used in more than 90% of social occasions. Singapore is one of the safest countries in the world. There is almost no need to worry about even petty crimes, so do enjoy your journeys in this beautiful country.